me around the waterside. Love the fish, we get them every day. So if you wanna get your bunga fish, you better take a walk to the waterside. So if you wanna get your bunga fish, you better take a walk to the waterside. Kinji me bunga sweet, kinji me bunga sweet. Namli get called a fisho, Congo town get Congo hilo, somewhere town get a fisho.
Good evening, folks. Samson Toll, Labron Public Radio here again this evening on live on Labron Public Radio. I want to thank all of you that tuning in. We say thank you very much. Tonight's show is going to be a very wonderful show, of course, as usual on Labron Public Radio. We're here to have fun with you, but at the same time be truthful with you in terms of what it is that we're discussing. Please stay tuned, and please share this video as much as possible. Please do so. Share the video. So tonight, we're going to be talking a lot of stuff. I hope the panelists will be joining me here very shortly. But if not, the liberal progressive can carry this thing here. No big deal. We can carry it on. But on a very serious note, I better not start running my mouth already. No, seriously, safety. Lord Jesus, we want to thank you again this evening for bringing us here again, Lord, protecting us and providing a life for us. We want to thank you. We want to praise you. We want to say thank you very much for your mercy. We want to thank you very much, Jesus, for all the protection. People are here and there. You continue to protect all. And the good thing about you, my Lord, that many people don't know you, are not getting, is that you don't care who you are. As long as they consider you the Father, the protection will come. Ah, yes, those of us that know you, we appreciate it. And I ask my brothers and sisters that don't know you, please try. Oh, the Jesus Christ we serve, how wonderful it is. How wonderful it is to be able to get up in the morning. Nothing is guaranteed. But Jesus continued to provide that for us. My Lord, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We praise you. Again, this evening, God, we ask you to bless the country of the Republic of Liberia. Bless the leader of the Republic of Liberia. Give them wisdom to do what is good for our people. We ask you, my Lord, to bless the host country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. Come on, bring it up. Okay, folks, Samson Toll, Labron Public Radio again this evening. Sitting in here for Mr. So, who will be joining us here very shortly. And you know I will come in tonight. I will black in. And I want a good here. I will put it in the bag. And I want a good here. I will put it in the bag. I better not talk be more right now because you know the team more than me. So I started to be more. You can't able to put me in the bag. So P Gay. Oh my goodness, P Gay, good evening. Come here. Wow, P Gay. Okay, that all I can say, oh, you know why I say P Gay, you know what I mean. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah. Good evening. I'm happy to see you. Thank God. I'm happy to see you. But anyhow, thank you for watching. So, folks, the election is coming. All kinds of things. Like brother man say, all kind of nyama thing coming up and going down. Oh. I was reading something this morning. I was laughing. So Unity Party, this Gondo youth decided they're going to cross cover to CDC because Ambassador Baka, they say it's not the way you're supposed to do. That CDC will do it for you. You're making me laugh. Good luck. CDC will do what Ambassador Baga can do, but CDC will do. Okay, we see. No, but on a very serious note, these things are just somehow funny, so to speak. But this is how the young Liberians tend to utilize their voting process by playing around with it. This is not something to joke around. This is a very serious business. Whatever decision you make will affect all of us. All of us. Whether they in Liberia or you here, it affects all of us. So we're asking you to make that you decide on your own. Whoever you want to put in there, that's fine. But do it reasonably. Do it so that people will know that you're serious about it. What is it, just Ambassador Baka is not doing for you that you're going to CDC and CDC will do it for you in the last minute for the youth? What is it? What is it? Okay, well, maybe you know what CDC can do, but that's not the issue here tonight. I hope the panelists will be joining here. But one other thing, and I'm going to go through the process here. And another thing, of course, they said the driver for CPP is in jail. I'm not too sure how long that's going to be. And I'm hoping that because they're not telling us things, I'm not too sure what is happening, to be honest with you, because they're not telling us real stuff. So, another thing that I also want to talk about here, before the people come here and try to rock my show here tonight, is this this story that I was reading about Senator Prince Johnson. You know, when I'm talking about Prince Johnson, I tend to be very, very careful and tend to be selective in the language that I use when it comes to Prince Johnson, because I have to be very careful. I don't want to come across as somebody who opinions and beliefs and expressions that fill with hate. I don't want to come across like that. And I also don't want to come across as someone who will see Senator Johnson and praising him. Far from it. Far from it. But what I read today, it has very interesting, for me now, it has very interesting conclusion. And also, it made me feel like Prince Johnson, his credibility on the intellectual and national level, not with the group that he representing, because as far as they're concerned, he's okay. But those of us that are coming from outside are people who have followed this man for a very long time. I have a book here that he wrote where he said, you know, the gun that liberate will not rule. And yeah, he is. So you know, and there's so many things that he have done in the history of the nation that some of us look on it and say, why would somebody of that nature will be able to serve at that position? And not only us asking these kinds of questions, the United States of America asked the same question. And in fact, they have gone ahead and put sanction on him. So here he is now, according to the story, that he's no longer going to be supporting President Weah, and that he's no longer going to be part of the group of Weah supporters. I don't know what happened. I don't know why, and I'm not even going to go into that discussion because that's not my area. I don't want to discuss it. What happened between him and CDC, that's fine. But he's not only doing that on VOA. He said, and I'm just paraphrasing that he's in consultation with other political parties, specifically ANC and Unity Party. So right now he's pretty much shopping around for the vote-rich Nima County. And politics is numbers. I mean, we have to realize that. We have to recognize it. Prince Johnson has the numbers. And so he throw his numbered weights around. He give it to you if you want, he take it from you. But the issue is this. If anybody you want to unseat President Weah, and then you say you're going to have within your group, as part of your group, Prince Johnson, because he has Nima County behind him, and you want to use that justification to say this is why you want to have power with Prince Johnson behind you, can you not, or are you as a political leader unable to seriously explain to the Nibadians what are some of the things that this government is doing that are not right, and that you, when you come in, you'll be able to do good things in Nima County? Are you unable to explain that effectively? For which you're going to have to go and ride on the bike of Prince Johnson? Prince Johnson. Prince Johnson. And I'm going to make some statement here, but before I do that, and this is what I believe. You know, when we're discussing these things, sometimes they're difficult to talk about them. Prince Johnson is not an ordinary person or an ordinary Liberian. Prince Johnson was involved heavily in the war. Now, before I go into that, let me say this, what I do believe. Prince Johnson, as far as I'm concerned, and I have some documentation to prove that he didn't just come into the war, got on one money and say, you know what, and the country is so good, I'm going to start something, I'm going to go in. No. There were things that move him. Things that move him. And he decided to fight, to join the group to defend, according to him, what he believed, to defend his people. And many of us saw what was happening. Some ridiculous thing was happening in our country. So when he came in as a liberator, as he called himself, he didn't just get up one money and decide, oh, the wind is going this way, I'm going to go that way. There were things that was happening in his county. Many of his county people were being brutalized, and so he decided, I'm going to stand up. He stood up. But then, in the process of standing up for your people, not only was he revenging, but he decided to go all the way in without even trying to say, okay, who is what? In other words, who are the people we're going to target? Instead, he decided to do some sort of a guilt by association. And that's who he is. There's a picture where Prince Johnson shot somebody live in the street of Monrovia because he believed the person was selling rice. The person was handcuffed to a white man, and he killed him. This is the senator. If the person is selling rice, the person is not a combatant. The person was not involved into shooting. The person did not kill anybody. He was accused of selling rice. This is the Prince Johnson we're talking about. I can stand here and proudly say there were so many people. I know many things, many things I do know on both sides. If Prince Johnson were to just come and say we want to liberate Liberia, and instead of picking and choosing, instead of targeting certain group, I think many people might say, okay, well, let's see. Here in the United States, there was civil war here. Brutal civil war. People died. But many of them died in the battlefront. What an old lady, because of the old lady tribe, that person must be killed. What that have to do with the Civil War? What that have to do with liberation? What exactly is it? What is it? And Prince Johnson can come out and say, look, I did this because I wanted to make sure my people were protected. And that protection process can only go so far. Because when you start examining the protection process, you will find out that it stops somewhere and Prince Johnson continue with his own agenda. And this is the Prince Johnson that he's, according to him, he's in consultation with Unity Party and ANC. Ambassador Baka, Unity Party, and Honorable Cummings, ANC. I'm not too sure how true that is. But if it is, if these people do not try to qualify, give some sort of a statement, and then we're going to have another, in case of ANC, we're going to have another Daniel Chair type of defense coming out of that, then I think we have a long way to go. We have a very, very long way to go. There are people who are serving at the very top of the government that are yet to be able to truly be de-traumatized. Serving at the top of the government, very, very top government officials that were involved in the war. But they are yet to be de-traumatized, to have a serious conversation. I bet some of these people right now, if you have the opportunity to sit down and have a deep conversation about the war, it won't take long before you start seeing them crying, literally. And it won't take long before you start seeing them shaking, literally. Because those things, you don't forget them. Whether you did it or they did it to you, you don't forget those things. But what happened right now? Everybody just covering up, pretending that nothing happened. And sooner or later, it's going to blow up. Not in a negative way, not in a violent way. I hope not. But we have to talk. We have to sincerely have conversation about these things. You cannot have over 250 some more thousand people lost their life and you say that is okay, or if it's not okay, perhaps we need to move on. What you moving on to? Some of the people that were killed, their kids just turning 30, 40. They still have another 40 years ahead of them. And you say you want to move on? How do you move on with them? Every time they're in the bathroom taking a shower, they're thinking. You know what a mind does to people when you're thinking? Have you had that kind of experience? Driving by yourself, and out of a sudden, tears start flowing down your face. Do you know what that is? Do you understand it? There are some people that are living with us, moving among us, that stood right there, standing, while their kid, their brother, they murdered right before their eyes. And you say, move on? No. If you do that, you're fooling yourself. You're fooling yourself. And if you want to be in leadership position, and you think this thing can be swept, you're gonna put it on the rug, you got another thing coming. Because first of all, the international community, sooner or later, they're gonna let you do the war crime court. And those of you that want to avoid the war crime court, you're gonna have to have a conversation among us, Liberian. You tried that with TRC, it didn't work, it didn't go down well. People came out there and started lying. People came out there and started boasting. People came out there and were untruthful. People came out there and denied. In fact, Madam Sally told us, let's come and read my book. And you want us to move on. So this is much more involved than even Senator Johnson himself. It's bigger. It's bigger. It's bigger. And the funny thing is, these intellectual, highly educated people, they know very well. Some of them, PhD, psychology, PhD, dealing with human psychology, they know. You can't move on until you de-traumatize the people who were affected. Listen to the trial that happened in Europe just a few weeks ago. This guy, the witness, they decided for him, ask him to testify. And he started describing the situation as though it just happened yesterday. And you want us to move on? Your society is going to continue to bleed. Here's the interesting thing here about this whole scenario. I'm just saying this here tonight, and take it, leave it. That's fine. Liberia for all of us. If we don't do this, I'm alone. I might be. I mean, definitely, I'm affected. I can deal with my own. You've never heard in this place, oh, something to be his wife, something to it want to be herself, she will flog me. The Boston guy pull him on, forget it. I will call the cop. Oh. But no, on a very serious note. So there are many of us know the way we deal with this. Okay? I give you an example. When I was affected, what did I do? When I got back here the second time, I decided to immerse myself into books. And that was the only therapy that I had. So when I decided to start reading, serious reading, I said, instead of just sitting down and reading, let me go into something. I pick up engineering and I focus. All my whatever thing that were going through me, I focused that like a laser on the engineering process. And I wasn't going to be left behind on that. That's my way of relieving whatever it is that was happening to me. But other brothers and sisters don't have that mechanism to cope with. What do? How do you deal with them? You got Liberians here who are qualified to help our brothers and sisters back home. Qualified. They deal with kids here all the time. Liberian social workers that are qualified. But the greed in that country is killing us. The greed behavior, the corrupt behavior. Why can't you invite some of these PhD psychologists, the social workers here in the United States? Yeah, they're working, they're making money, fine. But many of them, if you were to invite them to put some sort of a process, to put in place programs, and they can run the program from here, they will be willing to do it without asking you for a dime. But they send you minister. You know your friend there. These are some of the things I'm talking about. Your minister, you know your friend there. You know many of these people, they have ability, but you get there, you don't even look around to see who your friend you left behind here. You don't even care to talk to them anymore because why you minister now? I'm diverging. Let me go back to Prince Johnson. So the reason why I'm bringing all these things up is if any other person who was seeking to unseat the current president of the Republic of Liberia, who up to this point have not given up any kinds of inclination to say he's going to allow Walker to come to the country. In fact, he's on record to say, pretty much, I'm just paraphrasing, that's not going to happen under his watch. And one of his defense was, when we have the international community who are helping us here, we didn't bring war crime. Now I alone security on my head. Now you want me to bring war crime? So those are the justification they're giving us. And who am I to say you're justified to carry on that? That's not the point. That's not the point. Let's look a little bit. Look, folks, this thing is deeper. Even the Prince Johnson man himself, do you think he's okay? Seriously, forget about his whatever you want to call his behavior and whatever. But do you think Prince Johnson, Do you think he's okay? Think about it. So do you think if this process of decriminalizing that I'm talking about, that perhaps Liberian will be willing to do, you don't think Prince Johnson can benefit from that program himself? Definitely. Every one of us. Every one of us. But if you decide to sweep this under the rug and play politics with it, that's fine. If that's what Liberian want, that's fine. But I tell you what, though, there will be other Liberians that will not just let it go. The question be coming up every time. Every time. So now Prince Johnson is saying that he's in consultation with Alexander Comey ANC, with Ambassador Baka Unity Party, that he's leaving. In fact, according to the article, President Weah sent few people over there to have a consultation with him, and he refused to talk to them, he said, because they promised, according to him, there was a promise that they were supposed to get certain thing for Nimadi, and they didn't get it. And if those kinds, and these are some of the things I'm talking about, because someone who is not clean in terms of your mind is not clean, you behave like that. Not Prince Johnson. If, for example, someone who has trustworthy behavior, if you say, I will do something, you do it. That's what make you a person. That's what make you a decent person. But you're being a decent person, all of these things I'm saying, I ain't got no degree in human business. I ain't got no degree in it. You're talking it. So don't come tell me that you know this. If you know it, I want you to help us. We're suffering. Let me say that. But anyway, let me go back to this. So according to him, there was certain agreement that was made that after the election, they were supposed to do X, Y, and Z, and these people have not done it. Why? Why will you agree to something and you refuse to carry it out? One or two things. Either you are intellectually corrupt, morally corrupt, or basically you are just an unfit person. Because for you to tell Nimbadians, to tell their leaders that if you give me your vote, I will do X, Y, and Z. And now you have Prince Johnson complaining that you didn't do X, Y, and Z, for which they have given you the vote. Then you, sir, are unfit to even be among us. You need to move somewhere else. Because that's not how human behave. If you think Prince Johnson vote and Nima Kande vote didn't mean and there was not anything, then why ask for it? Because these are human beings as well. They give you their vote, and vote it's an interest. Election have interest. They're voting their interest. And they give you their vote for them to get something in return. And that was agreed upon according to Prince Johnson. And if this is true, then who are you to say you're not going to do what you say you were going to do? Then perhaps decriminalization needs to be happening to you as well. That means your mindset is not good. Look, let me go deeper. Let me go deeper. And I know many of you will understand this. Our brothers and sisters, those of us that were not involved in the war, literally involved in the war, because the war, I was here when the war was happening, but I've supported my brothers and sisters back home for food and stuff like that. Okay? But that's besides the point. Those who went out of the country and went other places, and you can see it here, even here in the United States, among some of our brothers and sisters have that kind of behavior. You can't trust them. You can't. So in Liberia, it's worse. And I believe they do not, it's not like they plan to cheat you or they plan to rob you. But that is the nature. That is the nature. And so what do they do, for example? You leave from here right now, you say, I want you to help me. I'm staying here, I will work, and I want you to build for me. There are few Liberians that you can trust to do those things for you. Many of the other people, they will take your money without even feeling any kinds of remorse that they're taking something that don't belong to them, because that's not how they feel. This is the result of the war. Because I believe during the war, everyone was thinking about survival. So during these kinds of crisis, war crisis, all of the moral aptitude and what have you gone through the window. And you can't blame anybody. Now, I agree. That was wartime. But this now, no more war. How do we bring our brothers and sisters back to where they were before? Liberians have always been a decent people. When I was growing up in the street of Monrovia, if somebody try to crook their little boy that's selling boy, and boy, you know what I mean by boy? Okay, if you don't know what boy is, sorry, boy, you know boy. Oh, I'm gonna call it real English. Move from them that you think I know English. I say boy, begin selling boy, and you think because you omo, and you know what I mean by omo? You omo, then you want somebody who will omo more than you will come and choke you. You will pay the ball. That is Liberia. That was Liberia. Where in Liberia those days, you can leave your window open. The worst you can have happen to you. Somebody will come and take your cassette player, your tape recorder through the window. But go look at the windows in fact, forget windows. Decent houses, they're all in the fence. War. They're in the pressing. Are you enjoying Liberia? You sure? Look at your house. Look at the fence around it. Those days when we were growing up, Saturday, music backing. So friends come around. Who doing war business? You don't do no fence business. But look at Liberia now. The window bars they have on there. Just a pressing window bar. Who's suffering? Who's suffering? You who get money, you're suffering, or the people who got money suffering? Who's suffering? Go to the senator, then the representative, their office line like this. People are begging. This is the Liberia that we have to get out of. Opportunity should be for all. But if you have a senator who is not negotiating on behalf of the vote-rich county, Nima County, according to him, but he has a tainted record. So what is the benefit that Nimbadian going to enjoy? So Nimbadian, you people, yeah. And I know Nima County, that small potato, that's so book people. Nima County, that's so book. They just a Lufa County. They just a VAR County. I'm gonna say VAR County, but a VAR County, Kema County. So book people. This is the book business in Liberia, as far as I'm concerned. That VAR County, which is Kema County, that Lufa County, that Nima County. Those three counties, you don't play with their book business. You don't play with their book business. They know book. I didn't want to tell him. His friend Johnson say he's gonna lead them and negotiate on their behalf. On their behalf. Yeah. I don't know where to go, boy. I said, boy, you can't say boy. You know plenty, boy. Me, I don't know. No, but seriously. But that's up to them. But the question now is, let me wrap it up and I can jump on another subject matter. I'm going to enjoy myself here tonight. The panelists are not here, and I say I can hold my own. I'm Bloku. The liberal is here tonight. And I know plenty. So I can talk plenty. I know Boko, but I can talk plenty. But no, on a very serious note. So what will be the end result? The war crime code is going to come. It's going to come. Unless Liberians decided they want to have a conversation. Look, my people, we got problems. Few months ago, last year, July 26th celebration. You remember that young kid that were attacked? What was the worst thing they did to him? They took out his pants. What that come from? The young people, they learn. They see these things. They see them. So I'm just saying that Senator Johnson, he has the right. He has the right to negotiate on behalf of the county. That's fine. But those, the negotiating partners must also recognize that there are other Liberians who are not pleased with Senator Johnson. And if you think because Nima County have the vote, and you go and hook up with Senator Johnson and win an election, you're gonna be right back to where we are right now. You're not being different. You're not doing anything different to help us. Okay. So I'm not saying what he's doing is bad. Far from it. But I'm saying to you here tonight that I think Nima County, and including all of us, in order for us to have Senator Johnson on our shoulder, first we must de-traumatize him. He has to come clean to all of us. All of us must do the same. Have a conversation. And let me say this again before I move on to the next subject matter. Senator Johnson did not get her one money, 1989 or 1980 something. He didn't just get her one money. To say, oh, too much pusawa in the country, I went for it. There were things that happened over time that got him to say, I have to stand up. I might not appreciate his way of standing up, but that's how he decided to stand up for his people. We can't deny that. But what happened in the process? Should we say because he decided to stand up for his people according to him, so whatever he did in between, it shouldn't matter? Then we're not serious. So that's how I'm going to leave it right now. I tell you, these people, they're really on their boy business. Sanchez Jackson said, if boy was a boy, my man, I don't know English. That means that no go. I they speak no go. I say boy. When the people try to call boy, like bro, what is it? They say boy. They say boy egg, yeah, boy egg. I beg you, man. I can't mean this. But let me go on. Another subject matter I want to talk about here. So the election is coming. I also want to say this here to my folks, those of you that are listening to me. If you have brother, sister, mom, father, relative, Baiko, anyone, let us do all we can to make sure this election should be fun. No violence. No violence. We cannot afford that. Because violence will do nothing for us. Throw us back. Another thing this election is going to do, and these are some of the things we're going to have conversation about. We're going to have conversation about these things. We cannot just continue to be quiet and say, okay, this is it, that's it. No, we're going to have to talk. There are people in Liberia right now as we speak. 7 years ago, could not even find bread to eat. They didn't have any place to stay. You know, when you decide to serve, I said serve. Serve it. I'm serving someone. The underlying factor in servicing, as far as I'm concerned, honesty. Honesty is the number one. The government of the Republic of Liberia, or the Republic of Liberia itself, should not be a place when you're broke, you don't have money, and you run campaign to be able to just make money for yourself. We cannot sustain it. You know, according to me, democracy itself is like a bluffing deal. And you know what I mean by bluffing? Some people don't want to say those days. Me, that me you talking to me, eh? You will see what will happen. Let me get you one story before I go on here. Back in the days, I grew up in the barracks, by the way. In the days. That was way, way, way before the war. So we have another guy call him Monsa. People don't know who he is. So I can call his name. They don't know who he is. But this guy, he's very quiet, skinny guy, very, very skinny, very quiet. He used to play tire drum, crown ball, playing. But you know, in the barracks, we're all mix of crown, gyob, man. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter unless if you're from a particular tribe and you play goofball, then it can name you the pellet ball, llama ball, you know, that kind of stuff, because then you're good on the field, you know, because on the beach, when you're playing on the beach, it's not the same as playing in town, because the beach, the sand take your speed away. And you got to be on your toes to be able to when you're ready to shoot the ball, to know exactly what to shoot, not to hit the sand. But anyway, that's besides the point. So Monsa used to play drum, and he was very quiet. So one afternoon, as soon as you cross the barriers going towards the Atlantic Ocean, there's a Pele people own this house. It's one guy, big guy. And the guy used to give us hard time. When you finish hustling yourself, your fast and 2 cents, my mom used to sell food, by the way, so I didn't have to hustle much. All I have to do, I said, I need money, she'll give me money. How much do I want? Maybe 75 cents. It'll be good. Guys, how much Roxas Cinema was those days? Downstairs, 25 cents. Oh, man, please. Samson. But anyway, so when you're going on the beach, that man will sit down. Hey, come here. He call you. What you got? You take when one slap you upon your ear, you'll be. So sometimes you just slap over that. So we told Monsa said, okay, let the man do it. Yeah, I can't fight. So one night, Monsa was going to the beach, and the big guy, he called Monsa. He said, come here. Monsa said, for what? He said, I want to know what in your pocket. He said, but you're a policeman, huh? He said, oh, the other man got to be more. Huh? The other pellet boys then. The other guy got to be more. Because that they are giant, that the pellet giant, we call him pellet giant in the area. When you go draw water, when the man come, everybody, you put your bucket one side. He pick you, he say, okay, you put your bucket there. You put your bucket there. And you will have all the pellet people put their bucket first before you put your bucket there. If you live in the barracks, you know what I'm talking about, drawing water, man. Don't, your man, can't play with me here the evening. But anyway, so the guy, he wanted to attack Monsa. So Monsa, I was there, right there. So he wanted to rush Monsa, and Monsa kicked him on the side of the head. He passed out. They were wasting water on him. All the grown-up boys, because I consider myself grown-up, Monsa knocked the giant out. Those are bluffing people. The men were bluffing. He can't fight. They're just bluffing. So it was me, he said, myself, I could have knocked him out. He can't fight. That's what the democracy business is. It's a bluffing stuff. It's bluffing. We had that in Liberia. And people challenge the system. And when they challenge the system cannot support They challenged the people through it. It became war. That's the democracy we have. If you're going to have a democracy and you say, because I'm going to serve, and you get into service and you start taking things that don't belong to you because you're in power, it's only a matter of time for people to challenge you. And this is what's going to happen. Interesting business going to happen. The next government that will come to power, G said, thank you for keeping me alive. Thank you. I'm going to enjoy myself more. Thank you. Because the interesting thing, those of us that saw during Tower Day and saw those days, I'm not talking about Tiller and Ellen and those are stuff that I'm not talking about. But now, Liberians' eyes are wide open. And the funny thing and the interesting thing and the good thing, many of the young Liberians, the progressive, some of them conservative, but the progressive, including conservatives, not only their eyes open, but they are educated, highly educated. You can't fool them. So the next government, now they have seen this emperor that have no clothes. Ambassador Weah came in and told Liberians, many of us believe of what he was going to do. Because why? We follow him, we follow a career. He was somebody that we believe in. But even if I was in Liberia, I was not going to vote for him anyway. But I'm just saying that. And then he came, and then he decided to show Liberians this emperor have no clothes on. So Liberians now can see when you're talking about GDP, many Liberians understand now. When you're talking about mapping, many Liberians understand financial mapping, they understand now. When you're talking about how do you call it, concession signing, many Liberians understand. You can't fool them anymore. Y'all want to leave Liberia, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. Because the young Liberians will make sure that you have to do what you say you're going to do. So the interesting thing now is the fact that President Weah and his government have shown, and I love that, because here's the interesting thing: he didn't, even though they are corrupt, but he's not hiding it, and many of them are not hiding it, and they are not making it difficult for people to find out. And that's the interesting thing, because the next government that's going to come in, you will be forced to audit this government. You have no other choice. Even a George Weah or your own brother, you will have to audit this government. You have no choice. No choice. No choice. You cannot come to this position and not audit this government. How will you explain as a incoming government to say, okay, the people are going to turn over the documents you're going to have? You're going to have to explain to the young Liberians. You can't force your way through anymore. It's not going to happen. You will be so miserable. You will be so miserable as a government. And not only that, the international community will not even allow you to have that. Let me give you an example. Quite recently, there was a bank, I call it ADI or WDI, some kind of bank in Liberia, ADB Bank or whatever. I'm not a financial person. So what do I care to do? But anyway, the short story is there was the incoming. They have a president, young man, and he decided to put in place some measure. The people were borrowing money from the bank. Millions and millions of dollars was being borrowed, and they were not paying back. So the young man decided, okay, there'll be certain thing we're going to do for us to get the bank to get their money back. So the people, oh, blah, 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 whatever he said, they say, oh, the young man, he lied to us. His credential was not correct. Blue, they fire him. But the international community, the monitor, the IMF, they said, you better find somebody now or you'll keep the man on here until you can find somebody, because this young man has put in place something that we can loan money and make sure our money come back to us. Well, if it wasn't for him, he's a young Liberian who has had highly educated. The mistake he made, according to him, was that he has a certificate which is equivalent to master. So on his paper, instead of him to say certificate equivalent to master, he just said master. And they're gonna make him to resign because of that. That's okay. That's fine. That's fine with me. But the point that I'm making is, because of him, we now know every Liberian, many Liberian government official borrow money and they're not paying. So can you imagine another young Liberian comes in and takes Samuel to a position, and you say he will not audit? You don't think the government will audit? So the next government are going to come in, they will be forced by all means, forced to audit. Because people will want to know how. Let me go through on these things, and these are very serious business. How the President Weah, where did he get the money from to build those mansions? And I've been saying here very long time that there are justification. President Weah is capable of justifying where he get his money from. So there's no problem with that. But the thing is, it has to be justified. It has to be on paper and presented to the Liberian people. So your President Weah, your Samuel Twe, your Jefferson Kochi, all of those people, your what's his name, Sekou Kalasco, all of those people that got these mansion, they will have to tell the Liberian, first of all, what is your salary? How much you make a month? And does that, because these people are going to be auditing you, they're not small people. These are broke people too. So they're going to say, okay, how much you are making a month? Like something too. I'm making $500 a month. I can't tell you how much I'm making a month. Plenty of people listen to me. I say, my son, like, bro, right now, he's listening. I tell him, right, oh, but uncle, and you say, well, I'm making $500 a month. So out of the $500 a month, I pay my mortgage about 3,000. I'm in the hole already. By the time I pay the mortgage, I'm in the hole already. So I can't help anybody. Samson told folks, I'm having fun. No, but I'm very serious. Let's go back on that. So the next government, because this government has shown to the entire country that this emperor is naked. So the next government are going to come, in order to put clothes on this emperor that is naked, you're going to have to do something better than what kind of clothes you're going to put on the next government? It's going to be kente? How are you going to sew it? You will have to be forced. You're going to have to be forced to be able to justify. These people going to have to be caught. Not necessarily getting in trouble. That's not my point. I'm not saying that. But they must come out to tell you. And here's the interesting thing here. You got many of these young Liberians that are working or might be going back to work. Many of them have been involved in the Liberians organization here, section organization, county organization, and they know one of the good things they know about is that they overturning business. Is that government? As soon as election finish, whatever they want you to turn over, they know it. They know it well, so you can't put wolf over their eyes. So it's going to be very interesting. And let me take it one more step. So now, after the auditing, there's nothing you're going to do for you not to audit. If any government comes to power and you don't do auditing, you're not serious. That means you will repeat the same thing these people are doing. And then this is where you're going to have problem. For 5 or 6 years, what is happening with Ambassador Weah now is going to be, your situation is going to be worse. It's going to be worse because you're going to have CDC. CDC now will be up in the opposition with the help of those who are looking for you to order the sedition and you're not. You're going to have more problems. You're going to have more problems. So the auditing business, let's set it aside. So when that happens, if the new government comes in and audit this government, then what make you think that a war crime court is not going to come? You see where I'm going with this? Say now come back with plenty of book here tonight. Let me. How can a certificate be equal to a master? Well, that's what the man said. The man forgot his entire resume, including his name. Well, yeah, but whatever. But you heard what the IMF said. They said I don't keep the man because he got. Says if it wasn't for him, will you be able to know how many people owe the bank? No. The man, that's whether he got a certificate or he got, that's not my means. I'm just saying this. But anyhow, let me go on. So the issue here again tonight is this election that is coming up. There's so many things involved. So many things involved. You think that Liberians now from other counties will allow Prince Johnson and the like to manipulate anymore? It ain't happening. Few months ago, Senator Zopeno from Grand Jida County, there was an article in Front Page Africa that says CDC, if CDC is not able to produce, they might not regret. I'm just paraphrasing that. They might not blame anybody in Grand Jida County if they don't win anything over there. Okay? This is what we get. All right? So, the point here tonight, folks, Samson told LeBron Pabrito, I don't know what the panelists are here tonight. They're scared. The liberal is in control. All the conservative, the Alfonso, the Edmund Joy, the Northern, the Minnesota politician, the ANC legislation analyst, they're all scared. They can't come here. I'm here. The liberal is here. The liberal is here. They can't come. Let say come in. Take me to tax again tonight. Say, please. The IMF denied that they wrote. No. They ain't denied. Says they don't say it because I read that thing and not only that no. If they deny, I've not seen their denial, but I know they wrote that. So I've not seen it. But anyhow, it could be. But let me just go on. So let's go back to this government. So, Doctor, funny thing is, the Facebook thing we're doing here. After a certain time, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5, they send you a memory. They say for your memory. And just yesterday, there was stuff when I was in okay. But anyhow, when I was going through here, I saw a memory from something they sent me back to remind me when I was at the inaugural program of President Weah. I'm sorry, many of you were not able to witness that, but those that were there, and those that were there and were very quiet, like I was, the spirit, it was unbelievable. If you truly believe in Liberia, you will say at that time that we have arrived. You were going to say that we have arrived. The person who wrote that inaugural speech for President Weah, that person should be given some sort of a medal. It was wonderful. However, I bet when Ambassador Weah was reading the speech, there were other people in there that were getting ready to put him in a bubble. And they did. You remember the speech? Liberia will not be a spectator in their own country. That's not the only good part of it. There were other things that were in there, was so good. So good. And I felt within myself that I'm glad to be here tonight on this evening. I was there. But look at the government now. Even look, okay, so I'm against this government. Yeah, well, but let's be truthful. If this government, whenever they do something good, you know me. I come here and say it. I will tell you. But I've always explained to you that while I'm sitting here tonight, I would say, while I'm sitting here tonight, praising the government, before the day over, the CDC and this government will put their foot in their mouth. And all before the day over, they come by and put their foot in their mouth. Okay? This government came in. People really, really believe that President Weah and his people are going to deliver. Because during the election, President Weah, first of all, didn't go to the debate. And many Liberians didn't care whether you go to debate or not. They were saying to us, because I was on here every night, don't elect him. And they were saying, thank you, but this is the man we want. And they elected him president of the Republic of Liberia. And I thought for a moment, after the inaugural program, that night they were going, they have a diaspora Liberian, the president. I said, I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed because you go places like that, how come you can get in trouble? I'm going to bed. So I went to bed. Anyway, but the next day, I went to my sister's house. And then all the other Liberian diaspora from America, from other places, my sister, she's well known. I'm not going to say who her name, but people know. She's well known. So people were coming. And then they started complaining about McGill. Before you even try to have a meeting with the president, you got to give something. I'm not a sedition. And many of them are complaining about sedition. So I said, I'm not going to say anything right now. First of all, I'm in Liberia. If I open my mouth, why they say they cause sedition and can't flog me? I will not say nothing until I get back to Liberia. So I closed my mouth. But people started complaining. People started complaining. Why? Why is that? Why is that? Why is it that Minister McGill would take this thing off to himself? For what? For what? Does he really believe that he's the only person that can guide President Weah? No, but look what he got him. And believe me, and Minister McGill is still functioning well, involved, seriously involved in this government. They don't let the American sanction business fool you. Man, it's heavily involved. So those, unless you don't know politics, but if you know you're involved. But the point here is this: they could have done so many things in our country. They could have. Ambassador Weah, I thought he was going to come and become where Madam Salih failed us miserably. I thought Ambassador Weah was going to come and deliver by considering himself second founding father of the nation. Even when people say, oh, no, he could have come out and brought people to put in structure that will help the country. But he didn't do that. He decided to bring in your Emmanuel Shah, your other past government officials. I have nothing against them because perhaps they can lead. In fact, there's a saying in our dialect You can't make a new mat, but you have to make a new mat. You got to sit on the old mat to make a new mat. So by you bringing the old hand, they're good, but they must have a time. When was the last time you saw Ambassador Barker has some sort of how do you call it, turnover or somewhere where he's gonna have to do reshuffle? And the reshuffle, with my belief, I'm not talking about you, but I believe reshuffle is like you pivoting. You come in with an old hand to help you organize, and you get to a specific position. If this old hand will truly put you in a position where you will be fine, then you reshuffle and bring in other new brain to help you move. But Ambassador President, we have refused, and I'm going to use the word refuse very carefully. Okay? No reshuffle. How are you going to have the same people in the same position for 6 years or so? What are they going to give you then? Nothing. And this is what we have. This is what we have. And these people, one interesting thing before I open the line, I'm going to be opening the line here very shortly. One interesting thing here is this. Ambassador Weah, as I always say, and I'm going to say again, didn't come to the position because of his leadership ability. He doesn't have it. But yeah, he's very, very popular and well loved in Liberia. Don't let anybody fool you. The man is popular and well loved in Liberia. Any corner you go to, any village you go to, and they say this is Ambassador, this is Joy We Are Open We Are. The old lady then, they would take all their lapa for him to walk on it. He's well loved in his country. But here's the thing now, the interesting part. These inept group that surround themselves around President Weah, they are so greedy. And because of their greed behavior, they are blinded by that. They can't see. I will be involved with with President Weah, with that kinds of popularity stain, and not use it. It's very sad. If President Weah don't get re-elected, it's going to be on them, and it's going to be very sad. It's not that you can say, well, because he was not able to lead. Yeah, because the people refuse to let him lead. They refuse to let President Weah lead. Because if you have someone who will be truthful with the president and say, my man, they want your part today, they're not good to you. We can't do that. But everything he does, oh, President, you're good. Listen to Kalasco when he make this video. Now, Kalasco now consider himself like a minister of information anyway. Listen to the kind of description he put on President Weah. And then President Weah can't even come and say, son, you can't do that. I'm not Jesus Christ. You don't give me no kinds of description. He doesn't say that. He doesn't say that. And these are some of the things. If he doesn't win re-election, these are some of the reasons. It's not because people no, don't say, oh, they hate it. No, well loved. Right here now, even here in the United States, the president, we are come right now and say, I want to have a meeting. Any state you go in, and just take out the sedition, the crooked sedition. Take them out of there. Let President Weah come and say, call the Liberian Community Organization. Any state, and call a Liberian Community Organization and say, I want to meet with the Liberians. That place will be packed. The place will be packed. Not because of a hate, but people love him. But let's go back on that. So the point here is this. These people, they all want to praise him. You know the sad thing that happened to President Weah and CDC, and if they're defeated, that they will recognize that is very sad. Two things from my perspective. One is the death of Representative Pennell. That lady, that young lady, she was truly someone who was willing to tell President Weah the truth. When she came back from Ghana and she had a meeting, before the meeting, there was a meeting, according to my story, there was a meeting that was held, hierarchy. And because of that meeting, when she made that statement, sedition, let's meet back under the sycamore tree. You think if that kind of conversation didn't have it up higher up, you think she would make it clear in public like that? Let me, you heard what she said. Let's meet back under the sycamore tree and tell us what is hurting you so we can deal with it. We will be under the sycamore tree and listen to you, she said. I'm just paraphrasing. And then whatever it is that's happening to you, we will discuss it as family under the sycamore tree. When was the last time you heard sedition, any of these people, Jefferson Kochi, any of these people come and say, let's meet at the sycamore tree? That's one thing. So her death really hurt them. The second thing is that Monuba Monu tape put him in a position that he cannot, and I don't believe Monuba Monu is even free the way he used to be during the election last time. I think he always had that, the party and the leadership, including Ambassador Weah, they probably have that little reservation that not everything is going to be discussed with Monuba Monu present. So Monuba Monu, because of that, he's not going to be effective. They got problem. Serious problems. Okay? So those are the kinds of stuff that is happening. So the issue here again, let me just say this. The issue again is that Liberia election that is coming up, the opposition, you got to be also careful. If you take President Weah for granted, you will be flogged massively because he's not, once again, he's not coming, even with the 6 years he have now, you're still not going to elect President Weah based on the leadership ability. If President Weah is re-elected, it's based on popularity. Simple, nothing else. Simple. But those who are around President Weah are not utilizing the strength, his political strength. It's not being utilized as far as I'm concerned. They are going around counting door community role, the hospital that ain't got a doctor there. Those are the things they're touting, which are good. They are fine. Those are structure, tangible. That's fine. But when you bring the tangible in front to be your front page of the CDC work that he has done, people can attack those things easily and you will be defeated because you cannot defend those things properly. You cannot. Go look at those community right now. And then you say, but that's my problem. I'll fix it. What? If you ain't take care of it, that's my business. No. That's your job. The other day, Segu Kolasko put some picture up where people refuse to take care of the thing that belong to them. Look at the dish and stuff like that. Yeah, I laughed. But these are the kinds of stuff they're going to face. And if sedition are not careful, they're going to defeat themselves easily. But that's something that I'm going to be discussing in another subject matter, in another page, in another segment of the Big Mouth Samson Told. Folks, let me open the line. Let me open the line, and if you want to have contribution here, please do so. The number to call 916, and I don't know, they're not even here. Sissy. Oh no, never mind, never mind. Let me pull it up. Folks, let me put a number in our opinion. 916 533 2048. And I'll try to pin it. Can I pin it? Okay. All right. Call me. The number is there. Give me a call. Samson to LeBron Public Radio. Give me a call. Hold on. Don't call me here. Let me connect my phone with 18 here. I'm having a good time tonight. The conservative people, they are not here. I'm enjoying myself. Let me equip thing report on here. I don't know how to operate Google, and the person who can help me not here tonight, but I'm the best. So let me go on here, folks. No, on a very serious note, these are things that we talk about. Okay, pro. All right, it's connecting. Okay, give me a call. Samson to LeBron Public Radio, 916-533-2048. So give me a call and make your point. But let me go back now. I'm gonna randomly. Select subject matter here. Oh, by the way, let me do this while I'm here. The next subject matter I'm going to be discussing, I don't have all of the documents here, but I'm going to this what is this? Okay. The Western Cluster deal. I'm going to read. I have their from the National Investment Company memorandum of understanding to expedite the resumption of the operation of Western Cluster. Okay, so they have gone out. The Liberian government have not asking at the time. I'm not too sure, but I'll go into it more and then and break it down with documentations. This document was signed by, according to, and you can find this document on Daily Observer, by the way. So it's not anything hidden yet. Okay. Minister of, I can't even see his name, but anyway, Minister of Mines and Energy signed. Chairman of National Investment Commission signed. Gray. Honorable Tuas signed. Minister of Finance, Western Cluster, 7 signed, and then attested by Frank Musadin. So it's a very interesting stuff. Give me a call, 916-533-2048. And then and tell me all of my conversation here tonight. Tell me what if I said something that was not right, say so, or forever hold your peace. So let me go on to this other subject matter that I want to discuss also. This election coming up, folks, it's going to be very interesting. I pray. I will continue to pray because prayer works. I know that. I will continue to pray that there's no violence involved, that Liberians will be peaceful, whatever it is. So now, according to these newspapers, there are 3 people that are running pretty much front runners. I mean, not front runner, but 3 outstanding. President We Are, Ambassador Waka, and Comey. Okay, so you have a number there. You got a number? Give me a call. Give me a call. So I'm going to be taking a leave here very shortly too as well. But let me read something here. Let me read something. Okay. I'll just read and when was this thing? Because this was something last year in April. So I believe is from this was from April. But let me read something here. Memorandum of Understanding to expedite the resumption of the operation of Western Cluster Limited, Liberia. The Memorandum of Understanding, hereafter referred to as MOU, is made and enter into at Monrovia, Liberia on the 12th date of April 12, 1922. Of course, John Fires. John Fires. Oh my goodness, 2022 by and between the government of Republic of Liberia, represented by the Minister of Mines and Energy, the Chairman of the National Commission, the Minister of Finance and Development Planning, attested by the Minister of Justice. Western Cluster Limited, Liberia, is a company incorporated under the law of Liberia and having its registered office at Amara Building, corner of 18th Street and Tottenham Boulevard. There's another thing here that I'm gonna do here. If you go, the street view of Liberia now. I mean, the street view, the one you can go here. The only thing they don't have here is Google how to get there. But if you go to map to Google Map, you can post street view, and you will see a lot of street now in Liberia as they are. And you'll be able to see the picture of the building. You will see the Maria as you've never seen before. So I just want to let you know that. Okay. The government and company shall be collectively referred to as the parties. Whereas, this is Liberian here that used to like the whereas business. Whereas is the company, its parent company and affiliate company enter into a mining development agreement on April 3rd, 2011, hereafter referred to as the agreement for the iron ore deposits of Bombing Hills Mine, the Mana River Congo Mine, and the B Mountain Mine. Oh, but he put that small thing they're doing. 1, 2, 3, and B Mountain Mine situated in Bombing County and Grand Cape County. So that two counties they're dealing with. The agreement was thereafter ratified by the legislature of the Republic of Liberia. I'm waiting for your call. Your man, just write your call and say something. But sister, the Libra is here. That's what we do. I'm the best. But anyway, let me go on. Subsequent to the ratification of the agreement, Alento Mineral Mining LEC, which own 49% of the equity of the company, with the approval of the government, so it's I read it a long time ago. So it's absurd 49% of the equity of the company, which resulted in an amendment to the agreement of on 5th July 2013. However, the side amendment is yet to be ratified by the legislature. So I say, you all do that thing here? Samson told LeBron Public Radio, what's your name, where you're calling from, what's on your mind? Can you hear me? Hold on. Can you hear me now? Okay, go ahead. Hey, what happened here again tonight? Hold on. But what? Okay, go ahead. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Nah. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yes. I was just concerned in your deliberation. There is something that caught my eye, not only in your talking point, but it's something that is happening. I don't know
Okay.
whether the government is taking note of that. That had to do with Carrasco posting. So the question that come to mind is, why is Carrasco job function? Why is he posting more than the press secretary or the minister of information? Why is the job function?
Well, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. But what I do know and what I've read is that Carrasco is an AD. How do you call it? AD can or AD sunk aid to the president. But as far as being minister of information and other things like that, none that has been officially announced yet.
Yeah, because he's coming up with some posts, that really, let's take, for example, the Boyka case. And to me, it's a little bit public disrepute, to the government. If he know or whatsoever relationship he have with with the president, that doesn't make it official, to come up, and make those kind of jobs, on a former president or vice president. And I felt that, the government need to come, and at least rebut some of those statements or say something about it. It doesn't add up, in the diplomatic, and arena. That's my concern.
Well, I think at this stage that I'm not too sure if the government Carrasco even concerned with your concern. At this stage, they're just doing it, running with it. So I don't think that they're concerned with any of us concerned. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, but besides that, let me ask you this: were you able to listen to many of the things I was talking about?
Yes, I listened to him.
Was that making sense?
Oh yes, what you said makes sense. That most of the things, is. I mean, I don't know how many people listen to you, but I listen to you, religiously.
Thank you.
Especially, I'm one of the keen listeners, of your role, especially at this time where we need, a role. I thought by now that could be one of the talking points on the monthly basis that they could at least, and pivot in, and get expertise, to offer, their suggestion. But unfortunately, we are one-sided, and I don't know whether the incoming government or any other government to come with, they were able to make decisions from these talks.
Wow. We're praying.
But
We're
I
praying.
listen to you all the time.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, folks, again, give me a call or give us a call. Mr. George just joining me. So let me on so he can. Good evening, Mr. George. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. I went on here to make a lot of statement. And were those statements ridiculous as usual, or you think there was something that perhaps made little sense this time around?
Oh no, I mean what you're saying, it makes sense. And let me say good evening to Sissy. I got myself. I said no, the liberal can be just sitting down here alone. Let me just pop in for the rest of the 15 minutes.
You want to come defend? You want to come defend your conservative view?
No, one of the things you touched on was Prince Johnson. And what I want people to know is that.
Can you speak a little bit louder into the mic or something?
Yeah, okay. Prince Johnson was a regular soldier in the army. When Kwamba went to Liberia, Prince Johnson was not part of Kwamba operation. He himself said it. But because he countryman, that how can he left the second to go join Kwamba. That how come he was arrested after the coup failed. So I don't want people to people develop the notion that he was champion the cause of the people. No, he was a regular army.
Yes, but let's
Now,
Go
fast
ahead.
forward.
Go ahead.
When
No, but what I want to go before you fast forward, what I was going to say is that he didn't just sit down one night or one day after eating heavy goodbye and say, "Oh, I went for it." There must be something that caused him to get in there.
no,
There must be something that made him to say, "I'm going to participate to defend whatever it is that he's calling defending his people." There got
no,
to be something.
no, but Mr. Todd, let us get something straight. After the 1985 election, Nkrumah left the country. That trouble had not started between the people, the Nimale and Do and Do. That started when Nkrumah came. When Nkrumah came, he died. That
Mhm.
the whole trouble started now. But before that time, Prince Johnson was in the army. There was no confusion.
Mhm. Are you there?
Yes,
Okay.
the story. Yes, I told the story.
Mhm.
When he said he heard that Nkrumah was in town, that how can he left to go join Nkrumah? So it was not because the people of Nima at that time were being prosecuted. No, it was after Nkrumah's death, this whole thing started. By the time Prince Johnson had escaped, had left the country, gone a long time. So what I'm saying is that Prince Johnson should have been court-martialed by the AFF because he was a regular army. And he joined a meeting. And if he talk about the court of justice, so he knows that should apply to him. Because he took oath to defend the Constitution. And if anybody came in to overthrow that government, and if he joined for whatever reason, he should have been court-martialed because he did not defend the oath of the Constitution he took to defend the Republic. Going forward, coming back to Liberia, seeing that he came to defend his people, well, everybody got a definition of defending. I don't know. But the question someone asked, did Nkrumah stay in Nema when they came to Liberia? No. He ran through and came straight to Maserati on the enclave to sit down there. How he was defending the people in Nema when he couldn't go behind Chancellor's line, I don't know. He got to explain that. And the people who say he was doing it, they got to explain to some of us how he did it. Because
Well, the only thing that I take out of this is that to be realistic on it, and I could be wrong, is that what's his name? Prince Johnson didn't sit down overnight and say, "I'm going to join Rebel" or what have you. Even if what you're saying, if it is what happened, that he joined Nkrumah and what have you, and that he decided to do whatever it is that he wants to do. I know there were other issue between the then government of President Doe and people from Nima County. There's no secret about it. There was some real rocky time. People died.
Mr.
And,
So
and
our entire, I know the
yeah,
story.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So people die, and so perhaps he felt with himself that as an army man, I can't sit here for people in Nima County to die. What he believed to be regular position of the government at the time, and so he decided to. But what I'm saying is, I'm not defending him. What I think we need to do is for all of us, for him to, including himself, to have true conversation and be detraumatized, because right now everybody traumatized. There's no question asked. Every one of us. Mr. George, I mean, you can't say, even you, sometimes you're driving and you can feel, about Liberia and the war. And sometimes some of the friends that you used to have, and you out of a sudden blue, it just come to mind. And you see their faces in your mind. And they're no longer with us because of the war. So every one of us are being affected. But we can help ourselves, I say, if we can truly have a true conversation true conversation about this. But those that are in power, that have the ability to set the stage for this, are the ones that are giving us issues because of the greed and the refuse for people to have these type of conversation. Perhaps then that will allow Liberians to be fully free by them participating fully in an election, and not because of fear.
Yeah, but
this has been my argument.
Yeah, but what you see, you are right. But here's the thing here. Somehow in Liberia, and from the outset, we know exactly what happened. And what I'm seeing, the tips are there from Prince Joseph own mouth explaining the story. Okay. And what I'm seeing, there are problems we went through. But all I always say, if you come and say, yes, I'm sorry for what happened, things went wrong, and sometimes I overreacted, people can see with you.
That's exactly what that would be a conversation.
But when you try to justify,
exactly,
then that way.
And let me hold you on that. It's not just Prince Johnson. There were many of them, including my own Dr. Bullitt, his statement.
Yeah.
Justifying their involvement. And even back to Dr. Bullitt, he most likely didn't just come into this thing. His intent was to defend his people. But now that we're coming together, no more war. Let's have a serious conversation. Let's hear from you, your own involvement, and take responsibility of some of the bad things that perhaps happened on your watch. And apologize to the Liberian people. I think if we do that with each other, we might not need the medical doctor, psychologist to come and help us out. We can help ourselves. But what I'm saying here tonight, Mr. Judge, and we only have 5 more minutes here to go. The only thing I'm saying here is this: if we don't do this, and these politicians, they themselves, they are traumatized. There's no question asked. These people are hurting themselves. But they need to provide the avenue. They need to provide the stage for these kinds of conversation to happen. But if they think they're going to hide it, eventually it's going to come up.
It will come out. And this is why I always say, I say, because the moment you try to justify your action, you get into more problems. Because I know people from Nema at the time, how they were affected by what was going on in Liberia at the time. People talking to the bush. But look at, in defending your people, the innocent life that lost in the process of you defending, and more going to even get other innocent people who had nothing to do with it. How can you justify you defending your people when thousands of people who never had anything to do with it gonna perish today? How can you justify that? So the way out is, look, come out and tell the people what I did was wrong, and I take full responsibility. And those who are affected, I'm sincerely apologizing to them. If you go that route, people will start having a second thought about you. But you see, people come out to say, in the defense, I was defending my people. But look at the damage it caused. Look at the destruction it caused to other people who are not even connected to this thing here. So how can you defend that? And they think by hiding behind political power will help them. It will not help them. It's just a matter of time.
And that's the point before we close. That's the point that I was making earlier about any other government that are going to come in. This government, any other government that will come after President Weah government will be forced. They will have no other choice. If you want to be sincere, will have no other choice unless they want to be crook. They will have no other choice but to audit this government. And after the auditing process is done, the door then will be open for the war crime court. It will just be a matter of time, because any other government you come in, if you don't do the audit, because this government has forced the hand of the next government to do the audit. You can't get out of it.
No.
Even if President Weah was your own brother, because the way they behave, and many Liberians have seen it, they force the next government hand that there will be audit, no matter what.
It has to be, because
you can't hide it.
It has to be, because what we're seeing, people are now becoming very, very vigilant, rigid, and stressing about this accountability in Liberia than ever before. So if anybody comes into power, you cannot sweep it under the rug. It will be something that will be on the table, on the table, burning, that you must do it, because other people have continued to do it and get away with it. It's just a time that people change. And let me just throw this, Mr. Toh, I would suggest to you, are you following the Nigerian election?
Not much.
Try to follow it. What do you think is being said in Liberia is small. There is a guy now, one of the former governors running. They call him Peter Obi. That guy is turning Nigerian over. If you go on the internet, Facebook, you see it's him they're talking about. So, and the same thing, you see people talking. This horrible thing we say that people talking, you watch those things. The people say they are concerned about the president who wants to be president. There's no secrets about their health, the mental capacity, the physical capacity. They say everything is on the table. So that is to tell you the world, the continent is shaping. The way our challenging our one man, one vote, also say one is changing now. And in Liberia, we have to embrace the reality. To tell our friend this thing is wrong. My brother, this thing you're doing is wrong. And this is the point we're approaching now in Liberia. People must be accountable for what they do. You know, it's so laughable when I heard Prince Johnson say the other day, the only wicked man, it just Jefferson is the first lover.
So he's a rude man.
But
so it look like Jefferson Kochi can get under his skin. So perhaps we don't even need a war crime court. Let's just lose Jefferson Kochi on Prince Johnson, and Prince Johnson will.
He said the ball costing the border cost.
Oh, you think? But why? I wonder why he said. You think Jefferson Kochi cost him up?
Yeah, Jefferson Kochi, you know, he said. I mean, he's in the boy. He's the first lover to see being rude at that. I think Jefferson Kochi have been, you know, Jefferson Kochi one of those that advocating for war and economic crime court.
Oh, okay.
That's not a sweet spot for Prince Johnson. You know, anybody who go down that line, then you and him will not be good friends.
Right.
Yeah, but and so there's the question here now. Because everybody that who wants to become president of Liberia now, the three that I know of, are talking about war crime court. Honorable Boakai, Tewa Gonglo.
But he said he's in consultation with them. So, but anyway, Mr. Josh,
yeah,
we'll be back tomorrow,
mm-hmm.
and Mr. Soul will be back here again tomorrow. But I first of all, thank you very much for joining. We appreciate it.
Yeah, sister, you watching or you didn't want to come and join the labor. I had to come live in your time. But sister, have a good night, man. Take care. And
thank you, Mr.
Thank you
Josh.
to all the audience for following.
Yeah, thank you. There you have it.
So, le Dibusu, the Saba boy.
All coming out of this from here goes straight into the mixer. The liberal is in control. The conservative thing say he the only person that know how to do it. I know better. Watch, listen. Okay, folks, Samson told LeBron probably on a very serious note. I will say good night to all of you. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Please join us tomorrow here when Mr. Soul shall be here to be able to get this thing going. And then we'll be back here again tomorrow evening. Thank you for your participation tonight. Good night, folks. And seriously, thank you for even tuning into LeBron Public Radio. Please continue to do that, and we really appreciate your support. Good night, folks.
Give me a relaxation now that the damn Danny. As a relaxation now that the damn Danny. Zero Goronia Macapazro Goronia, but Catania would have Tibabu Yazon. Zeverco Dunas, I give it. Amoko Dunas of Molay. Dobe as a code Dunas, I give it. Sakire oyo tape se yamo wasibare nana mo wasibai nuko bugajira yari mo wasibare